Good evening everyone, Mike Palmer from Know Your Rights Group and Success Coaching International with another important live video update tonight. Tonight we're going to be talking about this second wave that's well and truly started here in Australia and also across the ditch in New Zealand, and especially we're going to be talking about the police and the army coming and knocking on your door and asking you, requesting for you to undergo testing. Okay, a lot of people have been messaging us about that. A lot of people have been putting things on Facebook, so we're going to deal with that tonight. Now, one point I want to bring up first is this whole second wave scenario. Now, where was one of the worst countries in the world for this whole COVID-19 rubbish? Remember? Italy. Have we heard anything about a second wave in Italy? What about China itself, where all of this originated? Have we heard anything about a second wave in China? No. We're hearing about it right here in Australia, and in particular, right here in my home state in Victoria. Now, I've said this on other videos, Victoria is the guinea pig state. It's the guinea pig state for the country, and Australia is the guinea pig country for the world. Okay, as I said, it is also happening in New Zealand as well. So it's getting very, very serious though now. Apart from toilet paper flying off the shelves again, which really is neither here nor there, okay, but we're starting to find these essential supplies, the flour, the sugars, the pastas, all that sort of stuff is just empty in so many supermarket shelves already around most of Melbourne. Now, a lot of people sort of saying, oh, but look, this doesn't, affect me. I'm in such and such state. I'm in Queensland. I'm in New South Wales, whatever. Okay, guess what? When this whole toilet paper, debacle started in Victoria, at the beginning of this whole scamdemic, you probably thought, oh, that won't affect me either. Back then, okay, how'd that work out for you? Okay, so just because it's only happening in Victoria now doesn't mean it's not going to come to a state near you. Okay, it absolutely will. It's just a matter of time. And again, we've got members, we've got family across the ditch over in New Zealand. They're telling us that the plastic screens that were taken down a few weeks ago have all been reinstalled in preparation for this second wave. People are queuing up in supermarkets. Things are flying off the shelves over there. They've introduced new laws that say the same thing. The police can come and knock on your doors over in New Zealand and ask for you to undergo testing. So this is happening everywhere, and it's going to keep growing in momentum. So even if you somehow manage to escape it, it's better to be prepared and be safe, okay, rather than, of course, sorry. So what do we do when there's a knock on the door? You don't have to answer it. Okay, we covered this on last weekend's video with Darren. Just because someone knocks on the door doesn't mean you have to answer it. If someone calls your phone, you don't have to answer your phone. If someone sends you mail, you don't have to open it. You can return to sender. Okay, so don't think that just because there's a knock on your door and some loud voices out there that you have to open it. Okay, you do not have to. You always have the choice. Now, if they threaten you that you have to come to the door, otherwise we're going to break down the door, well, you've got a couple of options. You can either let them, in which case you can have them then charged with break and enter, or what might be the more sensible option is you can say, right, well, under duress, because I now feel threatened, because you're being very aggressive, I'm going to open the door and I'm going to tell you very clearly that I don't consent. Now, hopefully you also took on board the information that we covered in last weekend's video and you got yourself one of the no trespass signs. Now, you can find those in our book, okay? You can find some trespass cases in our book. You can find the signs in our book. So print that off, put it on the entrance to your property, put it on the front door to your house, and that is your first sign, your first clear demonstration of non-consent. Okay? They shouldn't even be coming onto your property past that sign. But if they do, you then say, listen, did you not see the signs? I do not consent to you being on my property. You are trespassing. Now, if you don't know how or why trespass cases are so important, go and look up the Plenty v. Dillon case. Again, there's links to it in our ebook. It's one of the most well-known cases on trespass, okay, and it's very, very powerful. Okay, a man's home is his castle. No one can come into his castle without his consent. Okay, all of those concepts. So when you put signs up, removing or withdrawing consent, and then you answer the door and say, no, I do not consent, these are very powerful terms. Now, if they keep pushing, if they keep urging, okay, no, but we're requesting, okay, we're requesting that you take this test. Say, no, I do not consent to taking this test. I do not consent to subjecting, myself or my family to what is at the very least an uncomfortable test, and in some instances quite painful, all for absolutely no reason. Now, why do I say for no reason? Because there's a Freedom of Information decision that's doing the rounds. It's been on our Facebook page, over the last few weeks. Now, this is from the Department of Health and Human Services, and this is what one of our members asked of them. Make application pursuant to Freedom of Information Act for you to please provide one document that shows and provides scientific, factual evidence of the testing procedure being used in Australia that 100% positively identifies COVID-19, otherwise known as SARS-CoV-2 or not any other type of coronavirus, in a living human beyond any reasonable doubt. Now, their response was, on the basis of your request, the Regulation, Health Protection and Emergency Management Division conducted a thorough and diligent search and advised that no relevant documents have been located. The division advised that a scan of the publicly available literature found there is currently no test available that 100% positively identifies COVID-19 in a living human beyond any reasonable doubt, as all diagnostic tests have a margin of error. So, why on earth would you subject you or your family to something that they can't even prove is 100% accurate? Can they guarantee that if you get tested that it will not provide a false positive or conversely a false negative? Right? If they can't provide evidence of that, you do not consent. Now, if they keep pushing, if they keep stressing the point, okay, great. Then ask them, can you provide a copy of your medical certificate that authorises you to conduct medical procedures? Now, in most cases, okay, of course, that's the police, it's the army, they're not going to have those. Now, if by some miracle they say, oh, yes, we do actually have that, say, great. Does that provide you an exemption against Article 7 on the Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, okay, against medical experimentation? Okay, now, of course, they're going to say no. So these are all the points that you can bring up, all right? But what's most important at the end of the day is no matter what, you stand your ground on no consent. Okay, they will not just forcibly grab you and test you. Okay, at least not yet. Okay, they're not going to do that because they will get their asses sued if they did. But what they can do, mind you, is if you consent to the test and then it comes back positive, they can forcibly remove you and place you into one of their quarantine centres. So again, please be aware of that. You do not want to consent at any time. Okay? No consent, no consent, no consent. That is your mantra. It's just a request. Now the problem is most of the sheep out there, they'll go, oh yes, and they'll give you the whole story about why it's a benefit to you and your family and the community and all the rest of the garbage. Okay? Do not consent. All right. Now, on that topic, I've explained before that there is an entire chapter in our Know Your Rights ebook. Okay? Here it is here. Bonus Chapter 1, Mandatory Vaccinations. Now, there's a ton of information there, and it can be very easily adapted, okay, to this whole concept of mandatory testing. You just edit and adjust the documentation to suit mandatory testing instead of mandatory vaccination. Now, I know a lot of people are still concerned and worried about mandatory vaccination potentially coming in. So again, you've got all the information there, but even for right now, if you're worried about mandatory testing, read that chapter in our book, okay, because it shows you how to deal with it. Now, as I said to you as well, we do have an entire chapter on court cases, which is bonus chapter 3. And as you can see here on page 85, there's all the trespass cases, plenty v. Dillon, whole heap of documentation, a summary on the case. So some really, really powerful information. So listen, if you don't yet have this book, the essential step-by-step manual for understanding and exercising your rights, please grab it now. Not only will you get some really valuable information on mandatory vaccinations, on mandatory testing, all that kind of stuff, but there's a whole heap of other information in there that you probably weren't even aware of. Now, I'm telling you, as honest as I'm standing here right now, I spoke to another one of our members, one of our clients today. We did a coaching call, and her words were the same words that have been echoed by so many people before. Hey, Mike, I got that Know Your Rights book, and I knew things weren't right, but oh my God, I didn't realize they were that bad. Okay, that's what happens. You get a whole new awakening, a whole new level of understanding once you read that book. Okay, as we say on our website, you know what you know what you don't know, but it's what you don't know that you don't even know. That's what's causing you frustration. That's what's causing you hardship. That's the stuff that's really harming you. So if you're ready to learn the truth, if you want to know what's really going on, and then you want to learn the steps and the information on how to deal with that, grab a copy of this book. There's a link right in the top of the description for this video. So I'm going to sign off tonight, as always, by saying please get educated, get informed, get fired up, and then get proactive. Thanks. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend, and we'll speak to you all live on the air on Tuesday night on our radio show. Thanks.